Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
Hello and welcome to another episode of R Cube Table Talks, where we keep it real, where we keep it relevant, and where we keep it raw. Yes, unfortunately, I had to say that by myself, but fortunately, I had to say that by myself because guess what? We are here at Women's History Month, and I just have two amazing young women sitting next to me. And so I'm super excited that they're on our special edition of R Cube Table Talks today. Shout out to Pastor Man, who is just busy. So we praise God for her being busy. But we are excited for our guests. So I want to let them introduce themselves to you all. So I don't know, which side should I start on? Let's start on this side.
Hi, my name is Nyla Jones. I am a senior. I'm a pre-law major.
Woo-hoo.
Yes, that's my advisor, guys. And I am a business entrepreneurship minor along with film and TV production minor.
Oh, right.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Janiah's like, I don't want to go after that one.
Right. I gotta go after that. Hi, everyone. I'm Janiah Hines. I'm a senior as well, and I'm a double major in history and Spanish.
Yes. Oh, and they're also part of the honors program college here at Oakland University, and on Honda and over in NAACP. And their resumes are long, everyone, which is why they're perfect for today's special segment. So let's just jump into it. What's good, church?
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
And we are back with our special guests today, Janiah and Nyla. And we're excited about this segment called What's Good Church. For those who are just tuning in, What's Good Church is our segment where we talk all things church, okay? These are things that you may not necessarily say in the pulpit, but we feel that they're relevant to the church community, to the Christian body at large. And so as you see on your screens, yes, we are going to go all the way there. So let's jump into it. The Proverbs 31 woman. Oh,
Yes.
Right? Oh, so the question is this. When we think about Proverbs 31 and we think about the woman or whatever that is described. By the way, do y'all know who wrote that?
I'm sorry, I read something about King Lemuel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. That's correct. Bible scholar. History is paying off. Good job. Yes, it was not, because a lot of people think it was King Solomon. Because when you think about all of the Proverbs and stuff, but not 31. That was somebody else. So how do you all feel about Proverbs 31? Is it a myth? Is it reality? Is it a little bit of both? Who wants to start first?
I mean, I can go. I think for me, the thing was just growing up, you hear a lot of things about what a Proverbs 31 woman is. And I feel like there's so many misconceptions and people having their own opinions versus when I sat to actually read it myself. So first I was like, Proverbs 31 woman. But like reading it myself, I'm like, I feel like it's about just being a good person in general, just living for God, just believing in him and being faithful and just being a good person, honestly.
Yeah. I agree. I think definitely growing up, I would hear like, gotta be the Proverbs 31 woman. And I think a lot of people took it as like we need to be a certain way, but I think it hides the fact that the point was that we need to be fearing God.
Yeah.
And like if you are in the relationship with God, you will be a good woman. Mm-hmm. You will be a Proverbs 31 woman versus focusing on all of like the intricate details and things like that. Yeah.
Well, let's get into the details. I mean, do you all think that that's reality? Especially, I really want to hear from you all's generation. I guess would y'all be considered Gen Z?
We are Gen Z, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So how do you feel like with your generation and with some of the specifics that you hear within that verse? What do you all feel about that in the role of a woman? And you kind of know where I'm going, you know, the traditional household norms versus career versus all of that, being that virtuous woman.
Right.
Yeah.
I think for me, the thing that stood out funny is a woman who wakes up like at the crack of dawn to like cook breakfast for her whole family. I was kind of like, oh, like, I don't know. I don't know if that would be me. I mean, you know, for my kids, I would cook whatever, but the crack of dawn, like, you know.
Right.
I mean, there's characteristics it lists of like, you know, being virtuous and making sure that it sounded like the woman was an entrepreneur. Like she had her own business to do and stuff. And I think it's just when it categorizes it as just like you're a housewife, I think that's when we're going down the wrong path.
Yeah. I think that, especially when it was written, I feel like the career of a woman was to be a household wife, right? And now we're in this age where women are like entrepreneurs, they're business leaders. And it's like in our generation, you can still be a Proverbs 31 woman in your career. It's just not a household wife. It can be in whatever you would like to do. But I think, you know, those details we're talking about taking care of the family and nurturing them. And I think we are still able to do that even having a career as well.
Yeah.
I think with the like you said, like with the cooking, not at 5 o'clock in the morning. Maybe I should, but I still will provide and I will cook and, you know, do the things that will help nurture my family and take care of everybody. I still have those qualities and capabilities. Yeah.
Well, what I find interesting is how people assume that if you're a career woman, then you don't cook, clean, and do anything at home.
Exactly.
And I'm like, it's so strange because I mean, I'm not Gen Z. You know, y'all are younger than me, obviously. I'm considered, I guess, a millennial, and like literally, other men that are millennials are like, "Oh wow, you cook?" I'm like, what do you mean? Is it because I have a career that I can't cook? Yes, I cook every day. My husband is spoiled. He doesn't even have to eat leftovers like that, right? I cook, but that is not to me the essence of me.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
I'm not just a cook. I'm not just a maid.
Right.
I'm not just a mother. I'm not just a career woman. I'm not just an entrepreneur. I'm all of these things.
Yeah.
And I encompass all of them. So how do you, speaking of this, the reality of it. The reality of it is that there are some men out there that have a problem with y'all mentioned the entrepreneurship aspect of it. So what would you all say about that? The men who say, well, I don't want my wife working. I don't want her to have a career. I don't want her to be a businesswoman. I just want her to cook, clean, watch the kids, and that's it.
Honestly, I don't think there needs to be a separation in order for it to be good. Because my mother, she's worked like since I was a baby. And she's also been so involved with raising me and my siblings and cooking and taking care of the household. I honestly don't know how she does it. Right. But I feel like you don't have to separate the two because I feel like at the end of the day, you should still have something for yourself. You still want a woman who is driven, who has a passion, because that ends up, you know, bringing more to your life as well. Yeah. So I think women should have something of their own.
I think also because we have friends and stuff these age, and I do have some friends who are like, you know, I just want to be a stay-at-home woman, like I just want to, and that's fine. Like there's people who want to stay at home and just be taken care of and will do like the cooking, cleaning, and that is it. But like Janiah said, you don't have to separate the two, and like having a woman who has goals and has like a future for herself, you should want to pour into that as much as she is pouring into you with your goals. So I feel like it should be more like encouraging, like, hey, what do you want to do? Not this is what you're going to do.
Right.
Yeah, I think what I'm hearing from you all, and this is what I got from the verse too, is that this verse encompasses all aspects of a woman. It's not, we don't have to cherry pick which one is relevant, which one isn't, but a woman is all of these things. You can be all of it. And if you choose not to be some of the things, that's fine too. That doesn't even make you less of a woman. What I don't like though, I think, is the emphasis on the checklist. There's so much emphasis on the checklist, but not looking at the woman in whole. And so, the next thing is, what would you say to your friends that are like, I don't want no parts of this Proverbs 31. I'm good. I just want to work. I don't even care. What about your friends that can't cook at all?
I mean,
Like, would you encourage them to learn? We got one in the building. Would you encourage them to learn how to cook, or do you feel like that's not that deep?
I feel like it's a life skill just for yourself.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't
yeah.
even need to be like, oh, we just need to learn it just for my husband. I feel like it's something you need to know for yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, and also one thing that the Proverbs 31 touches on is like the characteristics of a woman, like feeding the hungry and being good to the poor, you know, like taking care of the poor. So I feel like there's so many characteristics in there that's not just about like, oh, when I look at a wife, I need to look at this checklist. It's like, no, to be a godly woman, these are some of the characteristics God wants to see in his children.
Yeah. I agree. I think Janiah covered that. Because I was gonna hit the fact that like we shouldn't be living for somebody else. We should also be like making sure that we can take care of ourselves. And us in college, like we gotta learn how to cook. You know what I'm saying? We have to definitely know how to clean. So things to be able to take care of yourself. These are attributes that you can bring to the relationship. It's not something that you should be doing for the relationship.
Right. But it goes both ways. I just want to say that.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was going to be my
Yes.
next point.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, when you all become married and stuff like that, it's not a one person's household.
Right.
It's teamwork. You know,
Right.
when you were discussing about your mother, I'm sure your father was there too to step in and help out because they work together as a
Right.
team. And so sometimes you're not going to feel like cooking. You're not going to feel like feeding the poor. You're not even going to feel like being nurturing. You're going to just want to sit there and maybe cry because you had a rough day. And that is okay, but it doesn't make you less than, and it doesn't mean that you aren't a Proverbs 31 woman. So it sounds like we've answered the question. We think that it can be reality.
Yeah.
It's just all in how you look at it. And I like how you all pointed out, you have to look at the totality of the whole verse and not just, whole chapter, and not just cherry pick certain verses as we like to do. So what do you all think? Is this myth or is reality? Do you all agree with Janiah and Nyla? Let us know. Let us know in the comments. We see y'all getting ready to type and post. Have this conversation at home, but don't turn because we have the real world coming up and it's been really real.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
All right, and we are back. We are back with the real world, y'all. It's too real. It's too real. Oh, mercy. In honors of Women's History Month, we have to talk about, women.
Yeah.
Because we are amazing.
Amen.
Black girl magic is real. And all women are wonderful. Look, if you are listening to this episode, you wouldn't be here if it was not for a woman. Okay. But in that, Black women in particular have been doing some historical things in politics.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, and we applaud it because they're paving the way for all of us, honestly, to move forward in this career. So for those of you all who have been hiding on the rock, because you had to, if you don't know what we're talking about, in this segment, when we talk about the real world, we're talking about what's really happening today. And so we want to talk about what happened with Jasmine Crockett, okay? For those who don't know, Jasmine Crockett was running for a political position. Now I'm going to put y'all to the test. They're like, what's she about to ask us? What was the political position that she was trying to run for?
The primary Democratic position
In
Texas.
Yeah.
for
The Senate?
Y'all got it.
Yeah.
See, don't be
Locked
scared.
in. We locked in.
You know?
We
Y'all know,
nervous, you know?
yes, y'all know what's going on. So yes, and it was highly contested because for those who don't know, right now politically in the United States of America, we have the possibility to flip chambers of Congress, which would be the House of Representatives and the Senate.
Yeah.
And so every seat, every election counts.
Yes.
But this was very interesting because we had more than one, I should say, Democratic candidate running for the position to then go on the elections in November.
Right.
And two totally different backgrounds. Black female from Texas, and then you had a male who we're still kind of confused as to Caucasian and Hispanic. Maybe you all know more on that, but we're still, but we know that, you know, he is male and he is of another race outside of Black. And so we saw though in this situation just the craziness of how politics work.
Yeah.
With that being said, for those who weren't watching the news a week ago, literally Texas had one of the largest turnouts for this election since I think 2022, I want to say. It was so large, y'all, that they asked for the judge to order basically relief and make sure that the polls would stay open additional hours outside of their typical time. And for reference sake, it was supposed to close, the polls were supposed to close at 7 p.m., but they asked for the polls to be open until 9 p.m. because the lines were literally that long for the voting. So the question is, because what ended up happening is actually one of the other candidates, who just so happens to be the attorney general for the state of Texas, actually put in a lawsuit going against the order to keep the polls open, saying that they needed to follow the law, which the law in Texas says that the polls have to close at 7. And with that, the polls end up closing at 7. And what was even more interesting is that in order to vote, you had to be in line before 7 o'clock. But how are we going to determine in a long line who actually got there like at 7 and who came after 7, right? And so what I wanted to talk to you all about is how do you all feel as future leaders in history and law and politics? How do you all feel about the fact that Jasmine Crockett unfortunately did not win her bid, but how do you all feel about all of the mayhem that happened that night that caused some probably thousands of votes not to be considered?
Yeah. I think it's all just very disappointing because as Black women, like we definitely show up when it comes to voting. So I think sometimes in politics, it just feels like we're a little underappreciated. And especially knowing that people were working to get people to come out to vote, it's kind of sad to see that those efforts, some of those people didn't get a chance to vote. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it is disappointing, but I think it is also historic. I feel like every time we create progress and because it was the largest turnout, every time we, take 2 steps forward, we get pushed back.
Right.
And even though it is a pushback, it shows how much we showed up for ourselves when it came to like the turnout. It's just disappointing that we can't like reap what we sow in that moment. But I do believe that the more that we go forward, like it'll still create more progress. But yeah.
And I do want to add too, because I didn't say this. So Jasmine Crockett is from Dallas. And all of this took place with the judges and attorneys in the fight in Dallas County, where she was expecting the largest turnout and support for her campaign. Which leads me to the next thing. Jasmine Crockett stated that she is going to file a lawsuit.
Oh, wow.
Do you all believe that she's justified in filing this lawsuit? And if so, if you were in her shoes, what would you want to see as a result from the lawsuit?
I think it's hard now just because of the fact that they've already declared someone. And I don't know. I just think they might just point back and say, hey, we said that it has to be closed at 7 and there's already been one in progress. So I feel like it's going to be hard to kind of overturn it. I don't know.
I think she's justified.
Yeah.
I think that if it goes to court, that yes, the rule says 7 o'clock, but there hasn't been any circumstance like the one that she was under now.
Right.
And I think it leaves room for, a reinterpretation of that law. It leaves room for a new law to be put in place because if there's more voter turnout, we have to be accommodating in the future if it's going to be even more than what was.
Yeah.
So I think it's a chance for them to look at that law and kind of review it. I think it's possible to do another it's a possible, but it's like if they want to, if they choose to, if they fight for that. But yeah.
I will say shout out to Jasmine Crockett for her attitude in all of this. When it was announced that her the person that was running against her won, she actually called him and congratulated him. So do you feel like as young Black women that we always have to do the right thing, say the right thing, be the bigger person in all the scenarios that we're faced with in life?
I feel like the answer is yes, sadly.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of the stereotypes put on us that we're angry, that we have attitudes. And I feel like we have to kind of like walk on eggshells or try to look at the best way and how we're going to be viewed. So I think we definitely do have to be the bigger person normally, which is sad, but I think it's just the truth. Yeah, there are so many examples of Black women in politics who have led the way. Black women are the backbone of the grassroots organization. Like I said, we have Stacey Abrams, Jasmine Crockett. We had women like Shirley Chisholm who ran for president, and now Kamala Harris. So I think just knowing that people led the way for you, you should be able to be inspired to be like, oh, okay, that could be me one day who actually, carries on the torch.
Yeah. And I would just add on to that is just like, when you see these Black women leaders, like envision yourself like that. Like don't think it's impossible because it's not. And you're seeing it be done in so many people. And although sometimes you take a step back or you get a step back or you lose, that doesn't mean that you're done forever.
Right.
You got to keep going. You got to keep going. And of course, it's going to be harder for us. Know that it's always going to be harder for us, but that doesn't mean that we can't win.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, you can win, and we are excited because we're about to get in our feelings, all the way in our feelings. And yes, Janiah and Nyla are on the hot seat. So let's go in my feelings.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
All right, we are back, and we're gonna get all the way deep down in our feelings. This is one of our favorite parts, because we ask those questions. Sometimes you have them, sometimes they're strange, sometimes they make you a little uncomfortable, and so let's just jump into it. All right, we have ladies. It is all about you this month, so I just have to ask you all. As beautiful young ladies as you are, should you as females ask a guy out on the first date?
So I guess to me that brings a question. What do you classify as a date?
Oh Lord, here we go with these Gen Z generation. I have never seen a generation with so many categories for relationships. Like I am confused myself. Okay, so let's break that down then.
Break it down.
Oh,
Me?
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought you were gonna answer my question.
I don't know. I don't know what the categories are.
Like hanging out with someone one-on-one, like, or is it more like, it has to be romantic, like, oh, we're going here, we're sitting down, dinner, like, what is the category for that? Like, what is the classification? What are we details?
Honestly, you brought up a good point that I get a lot of times from this generation is that there is this loss on what dating actually is. You don't have to go together. Like, you don't have to be in a formal relationship, but you're going out, you're spending time. Spending time could take on many forms. It could be just walking. It could be going to a game. It could be going out to eat, going to the movies. All of those things I would consider a date.
So then I guess my answer to the question is I think it's okay. I don't, and I say that because I feel like sometimes we just get in a space where we feel like we can't and we're not supposed to, and so then we don't.
Yeah.
And I feel like we can. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with, saying like, hey, I let's hang out, let's go to the basketball game or anything. I think the tricky part with it is just to make sure that it is it's mutual, and it's not just you that is always like initiating the dates or anything throughout like the course of your relationship. Allow room for the guy to also ask you on dates. Don't, overpower it all the time. Just making sure there's like a mutual respect there.
So, Janiah, you agree with that?
Yeah, I was going to say, I definitely have done that before.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's why I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, and I think I agree with Nyla 100%. I feel like, it's okay for you to do it the first time, but don't make it to where throughout the whole entire time it's just you. Just pursuing.
So how do you do it, since you said you've done it before? Give us an example.
I mean, it's so chill. I don't really do much like, no one said no, I'm just kidding.
She said she know what she doing. She's an expert.
No, I just feel like it's very simple. I mean, if I meet someone, I like their energy, I'll be like, oh, hey, would you like to go and do this? I mean, it doesn't have to be like, oh, a big grand message, a big grand gesture thing. It could be something as simple as, let's get some ice cream. Let's, at this time,
And I think I just want to add on to that. I think there's always a lot of pressure on a date, right? And I think they make it seem like, oh, it has to be this way. It has to be. No, a date is you getting to know somebody. Yeah. And you can get to know, your friends. You can ask them out, hey, do you want to do this, X, Y, and Z, go to the mall, hang out? It does not have to be something that's so extravagant. It doesn't have to be so much pressure on, just hanging out. Because you're getting to know the person. You're not making a lifelong commitment going on a date. I just want to get to know you. So, yeah.
Man, y'all the easiest folks. Okay, take note, people, because that is not reality. Girls be getting attitudes if you're not taking them to the Cheesecake Factory when they say they want to go out to eat, or to Ruth's Chris. It's what? The standards these days are insane. When we were in school, you didn't have no money. You was happy with Wendy's. That was okay. McDonald's was not a bad option. Now. You were insulting somebody if you say McDonald's. They looking at you like, I don't eat McDonald's. We can't even go to Chipotle. So, I mean,
I hear what you're saying, because I see it on our campus. I see it a lot, and I see it in different people that I know. And I think what adds to it is social media. I think a lot of people see young people our age going on dates and things like that, and it's so extravagant. But the reality is that we are in college. We are struggling to pay tuition. We do not have money of our own like that. And so as a woman, I have to understand that. I can't put, expectations that you can do all and provide all of this for me when you don't have a job yet. We're still trying to get there. So knowing that and understanding that and respecting that, I think is a thing.
Yeah.
Now here's the question I have for y'all. So does it change when you ask the guy out on a date? Is it cheaper than when they ask you out on the date? Is the situation cheaper? And when I say cheaper, as in less money is spent. Would y'all say to a guy, hey, you want to go to Ruth's Chris, my treat?
Okay, so I think this is a problem with me. I think no, but it's I guess it's a good problem, but it's also a bad problem. If I care about somebody and I really am interested, I don't put like a price on stuff. If I feel like I want to do this for you, I'll make it work.
Yeah.
That's just who I am. That's how I am with my friends, and that's how I just carry myself in like relationships. So I don't really put a price on it, and I do want my man to feel like he's special. Like the way that he's treating me, I want him to feel like I'm treating him like that. So that's
okay. Janiah.
No, I agree with her. I think I don't see it. I feel like most of the ones that I've been on or people have asked me on haven't been like extravagant. They've kind of been like in the same class of money. So, but also I was gonna say with the whole thing of being like simple and us asking for this versus them asking is not to like lower your standards as well. Like make sure there's still like effort into it and planning, not just like, let me text you at like 11 p.m., 12 p.m. Oh, you want to hang out? Like, make sure there's effort and planning into it because, we value our time.
So go to sleep. This is what y'all are saying, right? Go to bed, right? Do not stay up all night. No, it's a funny fact. So when I was actually dating my husband, and we grown, we good and grown, we in nobody's school. He was like, it got close to like 11 o'clock, and he was like, okay, I'm gonna stop texting you now because it's late, and it's improper to text you after a certain time. And I was like, hey man, that is not your reality though at all. So that's a whole nother in my feelings. We'll talk about that in another time. Now, what would be? First of all, I'm gonna be honest. I've never asked a guy out on a date. That I did not. No, I did not do that. If you wanted to hang out, you was asking me. I didn't mind being your friend, but I didn't ask you out. But I love that for y'all. I love that. Shout out to all this generation.
Say if you like it, I love it for you.
That believes in this, but that was not my ministry. But what about I kind of lost my train of thought. When we're talking about dates and stuff, what if you were to plan like the perfect date for a guy that you would want to take a guy that you really, really like on or that you're in a relationship with? What would that look like?
So I think it depends on what they're interested in.
I was about to say, yeah.
I think, like you said about planning and the effort, I think the best dates are when you have personalized it to the person you're going on a date with.
Yeah. And
I think when you have your partner, you just look at what they're interested in and kind of plan it based on that. I'm a big like creative person, so it would be me like planning something that we can do together, and with our combined interests. That's
okay. Let me put it this way, Janiah. What is like the most, or lay out a plan that you've executed in the past, in asking a guy out on a date?
Like what did we do?
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't extravagant like a whole day thing. But I mean, for us, it was just like, food was involved, obviously. Just food, and then, walking around nature. I like nature spots and like walking around and seeing the beauty of creation.
Yeah.
That's one thing I really like to do. And I feel like when you walk, there's just so many like conversation things that come up, and you learn new things about people the more time you spend with them.
yeah.
All right. Progressive
What's
woman.
yours? What's yours?
If I plan a date for my husband, I would say it probably would encompass doing something that he likes to do. So he's a anime artist, and he loves sports. So like I have bought professional sporting event tickets to like maybe a professional football game or a basketball game, and then we'll go and get some of his favorite food. He loves Italian food, so we'll go and do Italian and go to a game, and that's like the date. Or if it's art related, I'll be like, let's go to a museum. Like if we're in travel to a city, and let's go to a museum and see the art in the museum. So those are some of the things that if I'm planning the date, those are some things that I would do. So I agree with y'all. It depends on who the person
what they
is
like,
and what they like, and it's like, but okay, well, like I said, I love it. Well, these ladies agree that females should ask men on a date, but what do you think? Are you like them? You're bold and brave and gonna ask them out, or are you like me? You're waiting on them to ask you out. Let us know if you are either, or maybe you're in neither category, and maybe you don't even believe in dating. Let us know that too. We'll be interested to hear why. Okay. Well, I've had a good time, ladies.
Yes,
Me as
yes.
well.
This is fun.
Interesting conversation.
Yeah, it's been really interesting. And so we want you all not to just keep it amongst yourself, but we want you to have these conversations with your friends, have it with other young adults, have it with other people. Share stories, if you don't mind. Share stories about these things in real life. Make sure you continue to vote and be political, and make sure that you know that all women are beautifully and wonderfully created in the eyes of God, and that Proverbs 31 woman is not a myth, but it is our reality. Well, thank you for tuning in to our Cube Table Talks, where we keep it real, where we keep it relevant, and where we keep it raw. Until next time, bye.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.